Okay, so I think this is a problem. Hear me out. See what you think. So we have seen, this is from a doctor who is Dr. John Campbell. A lot of you may watch him. Very, very popular doctor. And what he said is it's amazing how since 2020 we've seen the rapid rise of all these cancers among people that are, 15, 20, 30, 40. He said these are the kind of things that we would see typically in a 60, 70, 80-year-old. He said it's amazing how we're starting to see the same things that we worried about the 70s and 80s, just a few years ago. Now we're worried about, is a 20 or 30-year-old going to have the same problem? He said, but there's just one thing that we can relate it back to, and no one wants to talk about it. We're going to discuss what he stated. Also, that goes along with what the Florida Surgeon General said, another doctor who is stating the obvious of the dangers of what we're doing to our body. Now, knowing the dangers and knowing the problems we've seen since 2020, why would we want more government intervention in our healthcare? Well, two things. We have Pfizer now coming out with its own GLP that will be once a month where it helps people lose weight. Whatever happened to, hard work, eating right, lifestyle changes? No, let's just give you medicine for it. Then the government backs it and starts funding and subsidizing the same procedure. Now, help me think. If we see a government that subsidized and funded another procedure that went here, and now it's causing major problems, 4 or 5 years later, we're starting to realize how dangerous it was. Why in the world are we starting to promote some other kind of this just to help line their pockets? I just don't think this is the right move. We're going to discuss that today. And then we're going to also talk about what Elon Musk said. He did make one good point, and then he blew it after he said something else. He said exactly what we've been fearing from these robots. Wait till you hear what he stated about the robots. And then lastly, we're going to discuss 50-year mortgages and 15-year auto car loans. The problem isn't the fact that the government wants to extend your debts and make you live as a slave to a lender. They just want to make money. That's how that works. Once you're dependent on them, that's how it works. But could we just do better? I'm going to tell you what I think we should do and what would solve all the problems with all this delinquency. And it's very easy. You may not like it, but it's easy. Let's dive into all these stories today. This video starts right now. Hey guys, welcome to our channel. Thank you so very much for being here today. We're humbled by your support. We pray that you'll enjoy the channel, but also get something out of it. Our goal is to talk about prepping, talk about the news that really pertains to your family and sustainable living and independence. And I hope that this video is helpful for that because it helps you think. Say, you know what? I don't know if I trust those things because we see the track record of history is not that good. That's kind of what we're going to talk about today. How when we focus on what we went through, I think it does help us to do better. I think spiritually, when we talk about, well, we learned what, if people turned against God, what happened, and then we learned when nations followed God, what happened. When we learn history, we learn to do things better. Well, why have we not learned from history? Let's go through what Dr. John Campbell said and also the Surgeon General of Florida, and then a few more dealing with the medical field, and then we're going to go from there. Now, I want you to listen to this little snippet from Dr. John Campbell.
This is new. Something new is happening. He's also seeing it in 40 to 45-year-olds. And this has been described as a non-infectious pandemic of cancers. So we've had a pandemic of an infectious disease. Now we seem to be getting a pandemic of non-infectious disease. Cancer is usually a non-infectious disease. Colleagues of Dr. Sung Song have seen colon cancer, and again, colon cancer, again associated with older age groups. Now, we do get colon cancer sometimes as a result of genetic abnormality in people in their 30s, 40s, even 20s, tragically. It does happen. But typically that's due to some specific genetic abnormality. Colleagues of Dr. Sung Song are seeing cancers in 8, 10 and 11-year-olds. Again, this is just unheard of. 8, 10 and 11-year-old children developing colon cancer.
So if you see, it says doctors are seeing cancers in 8, 10 and 11 years old. This is new and unheard of. He said, why are we starting to see the same things that people dealt with and the problems that people dealt with when they were typically 70 and 80 years old? Now we're starting to see them in the 30s and 40-year-olds and even youngest early teenagers. He says things like ovarian cancer, colon cancer, and so many more, even down to heart disease, heart problems. And now we're starting to see them in 20, 30, 40-year-olds. I told you this before. There's two classmates of mine that, we're mid-30s. It's not like we're old. Like mid-30s is very, very young. However, I have some classmates that are having to get pacemakers now and defibrillators. I didn't ever remember that unless you were like 75 or 80. And now we're having to give them to 37-year-olds. There could be a problem there. So what he's saying is he's bringing awareness to the fact that this doesn't all of a sudden just happen. Things don't just change. What made our genetics, what made our problems happen more since 2020? I think you could figure that out. Let's go to what Florida Surgeon General just said. I love this guy. He said the RNA products don't belong in human beings. He says multiple studies show that the two, Moderna and Pfizer, remember that, was definitely worse. It says that it is destroying the cardiovascular side of many people and in the effects of blood clotting. Pfizer is worse for neurologic effects. Pfizer is worse for serious adverse effects overall. These products should not be going into human beings. Now, who did he say? Moderna and Pfizer, right? He said that name, correct? Now, those same problems that we see that's causing major heart issues, major cancers, major issues for the population since 2020. Did you know that EBT? Did you know that food dependency on government? Did you know that delinquencies? Did you know that every aspect of our life got more dependent on the government since 2020? Now, that benefits the Senate and Congress. That benefits big government, doesn't it? Doesn't benefit freedom and liberty. Go back and look. Every study shows that more people got more dependent on the government since 2020. And housing, medical, disability, and food stamps. I want you to listen to this. Now, we see the problem. We see what is causing the problems from Dr. Campbell, from the Florida Surgeon General. We hear them saying that. Now, that goes along with yesterday's story, Dr. Peter McCullough. You can go back and look at it. Now, let's listen to what has just came out. You can't make this stuff up, man. Albert Bourla, which is the Pfizer's CEO, came out and stated that they're working on oncology products that we're going to be developing to the speed of light. They said since the rapid onset of all the problems with cancer, we want to be on the cutting edge of making sure that we are treating people. Now, I wonder why these people have all this cancer. Let's see. Remember, what was the name of the Florida Surgeon General's warning of the two major these that were causing the biggest problems? That same name just happened to pop up on the problem side, and now they want to be the solution of it. Not only that, since RFK was against Ozempic at first, he's still saying his warning levels, then all of a sudden the White House comes out against it and wants to subsidize it. Guess who just came out with a new procedure on top of all the other ones that were subsidizing? Guess what other pharmaceutical company decided to get into the GLP world? Pfizer CEO Albert Bourla has announced that the company will launch a new once-a-month shot designed to address America's obesity problem. The announcement comes after they are purchasing a company, a biotech startup, that will help them with weight loss. Now, so we see this company that's caused a ton of problems for us. We hear the warnings from doctors who are not been bought out by them. Now we're allowing the government to subsidize this same company to give us more. Why do we want to put things in our body that has caused us problems from the same company that caused us problems to then say that they're going to be the solution? Now, this again goes back to the easy button. Instead of having an obesity problem, what causes obesity? What causes health problems? It's the fact that we're not changing our lifestyle. No matter if you have a thyroid problem or adrenal problem, you can make all the excuses. Look, my family, they could say the same thing. We have a slow thyroid. You could say all the excuses you want to say. But honestly, if we would ingest less bad calories, ingest less calories overall, we walked and actually got up and did a little something, did some exercising, tried to live a healthier lifestyle, it would actually probably make us healthier, wouldn't it? That's what the whole world has pretty much taught us for 2,000 years. And all of a sudden, since 2020, we've realized that really Our lifestyle changes needs a shot more than it needs actually changing of what we're eating and the way we're eating. There was a report yesterday talking about the EBT. If we would just say, let's go back to the WIC style thing where we have like vouchers where people have to get things that are healthy on EBT. That'd probably clean up the EBT problem anyways, and the dependency on it. But if we would just give healthy food instead of unhealthy food, not only would it make us the lifestyle change better, it would make people less dependent on the government, and it would actually make them get stronger. But see, we don't want that, do we? We need dependency on government. What has happened since 2020? More dependency on government. So knowing the problem was this, now we're subsidizing the same company to give more of these for other things, and we think they're going to do it better this time. I don't understand our mindset. Don't we need to learn from history to say, okay, if we learn from history, we won't repeat the problem? But it looks like we're repeating the problem. Now, before we go any further, word from today's sponsor, and kind of goes along with all this because, man, we have been told all kind of crazy things when it comes to medicine and Medicare. If you're 65 and older or about to be, please check with Chapter today. They come alongside you for free, $0 to you. You don't have to pay them anything. Spend 15 minutes on this phone call, calling this number or using the link below. They're going to save you some money. The average American who uses Chapter saves $1,100 a year annually. That's a lot of money. Right now is open enrollment. The whole purpose is making sure you're on the right plans that's not taking advantage of you. You know, when you buy these plans, those agents and all those people, they may have opinions, and it may be good opinions, but it may not be for your best because they're selling a product. Well, what Chapter does is they come alongside you and say, what's best for you, the consumer? So check with Chapter today. Let them help you. I promise you, you're going to walk away with saving some money. The average American, again, $1,100. Think how much money that is. $1,100 a year? That's a lot of money. It'd be good to know that you can save it, especially on things like medicine, supplements, on care, on all these parts, things that you may not understand. Check with Chapter today. Let them walk you through how to navigate Medicare and making sure you have the right plan. Call them today. Now look at what Elon said. There's two things he said. That one, again, this man is brilliant. He's smart. I think this is a wise thing to say. But then there's times I look back and I'm like, this is not what we need. This is not right at all. So he comes out and states, when do we think that it's right that a government can then incentivize you to work, but then take your taxes, then tax you on the goods that you're buying, then tax you on the property that you live in, and then all of a sudden, if they're not getting enough tax from you because they want to spend more of your money, they tax you even more. Then when you pay off your house, you still got to pay the government to basically rent the property that you're on because of property tax. Then all of a sudden they need to build more, so then they tax you more. Everything in your life is taxed. Do we think this is good? No, it's not. We need to rethink taxes and taxation from the get-go. I have nothing wrong with Trump wanting to do $2,000 stimulus plans to the lower and middle class. I don't think that's the right answer, though. Giving money away is not the right answer. Saving people money is the right answer. We'll talk about that in just a second with the budgeting. So I don't necessarily like any politician on any side wanting to give money back to his population when they should just say, I'm not going to take your money in the first place. So I love what Elon Musk is saying here, but here's the big problem, and this is what scares me the most when you hear about these kind of stories, is these people are brilliant, but they're so brilliant, then they also deal with the God complex. I think of Bill Gates, Sam Altman, all of those. I want you to listen to what Elon Musk just said about robotics in general. And this is why he said he wanted to be over Tesla, because he was scared of making this kind of technology and not having to say to kill switch these things, because he said this could be a danger. I want you to listen how dystopian this sounds, okay? Elon Musk just came out and stated, Optimus will help contain crime. Optimus will help you not have to work. If somebody's committing a crime, we may be able to provide more humane form of containment of future crimes. It's pretty wild to think of the possibilities of the future when all of a sudden we could see that Optimus can even help us stop crime. Now, that sounds good, doesn't it? That sounds excellent, doesn't it? I want you to listen to this from the UK. They started to utilize safety measures for kids online. And you're like, that sounds great. I mean, kids are being exploited every day. People are being exploited online every day. I love the fact that we're going to build a safety security net to make sure our youngest among us are safe. But you know how they're doing that? they're going to start using a digital ID and digital form and digital passport, basically, to make sure that they are logging in everyone that is getting on different terminals, different Wi-Fi's, different internet sites, to make sure that they know that you will be kept safe online. Doesn't that sound really good at first? It's kind of like the Optimus with police. It's kind of like the Optimus saying they're going to do more of the jobs and allow you to just stay home. All that sounds good, but what did you just hear at the same time? That means almost like the Minority Report with Tom Cruise, if you've watched that movie, about how AI was used to take away from people from committing crimes, basically was arresting them before it happened. That's exactly what we're seeing here, that now we're starting to be policed by robotics and AI. So we're being policed by something that is a computerized run object. So that means we're going to be pretty much overruled by AI in every facet of our life. It already says that AI is smarter than every lawyer. It has more knowledge of the justice system than any lawyer in America right now. And they said it will get to the point where it will be smarter than any doctor in the world in the next, near future. Okay? So if we're saying we're going to use them for policing, we're going to use them for medical care, we're going to use them for legal expertise, we're going to use them for every aspect of our life, along with making our life easier and along with keeping us safe. That basically sounds like prison to me, does it not? It sounds like everything in my life is going to be dependent on that robotics. Now let's go back to what they said. If we're trying to keep people safe online, then this is a great idea. Maybe I should give my thumbprint. Maybe I should do a retinal scan to make sure everyone's safe. That's how they implement smart cities and 15-minute cities. That's how they start the dystopian, you will own nothing and be happy. See, this is the scary part. Sam Altman is already starting to do this with OpenAI and it being a major part of our life. It's supposed to be $1 trillion company, and they said it could be upwards of the most valuable company in the world in the coming few months. We already see NVIDIA and all these tech stocks are being the top businesses in the world right now. The more that we invest in tech, it sounds like it's going to be a convenience and help, but actually what I think we're doing is put ourselves in prisons to be completely controlled in the name of safety and security. Remember that push by Real ID about your driver's license? What's pretty much in every state now, including conservative states, and it's going to keep on moving till one day you're going to realize that it's all going to be one ID called digital ID. It's the open roads of keeping you safe and sound. Actually, what it's doing is not protecting you, it's locking you down. Go by a public school right now. Just drive by one today. First of all, if your kids are in there, get your kids out and homeschool them. But every school that you drive by, you really don't know if it's a school or prison, do you? Because ultimately, they've got it locked down. Doors are locked. They've got alarm systems on. They've got big 8-foot fences, a lot of times with barbed wire on the top. That's to quote-unquote keep your kids safe, huh? If your kids go there, you're like, yes, I want my kids safe. Actually, what we're doing, though, is we're putting them in little indoctrination prisons, and we're wondering why they're coming out indoctrinated. You wonder why we're so tied to this convenience and comfortability. You wonder why we are so happy with robotics and convenience and safety and security that we're willing to give up our rights for it. It's because all we've been done is we've been mind controlled to think that this is all normal. It's not normal, folks. Like my kids, I love the fact that they go outside without shoes and they run around and touch grass. That they play and get dirty and nasty and just enjoy. I love the fact that they want to explore. I don't want this in their hand all the time. They have to earn the right to have technology. They have to earn the right to, on a Saturday, and that's if they were good all week, to be able to play digital tablets and videos. Now, do we sit together as a family, watch something together at night and some of those? Yeah, some days we do. But I'm saying if we make our whole life dependent on some kind of convenience, what we're doing is actually putting ourselves in a prison. Remember yesterday me saying that critical thinking is out the window because we're not critically thinking anymore. We're just allowing AI to do it all for us. And now what Elon Musk and Sam Altman and all these people are saying is that AI will be able to do everything, even stop you from crime and help others mitigate the crime. They're going to help be lawyers, doctors. They're going to help you work. You're not even going to have to work. Well, if you don't work, you don't eat. That's what the Bible says. If you don't work, how are you going to pay for all those things? Oh, government is giving us more. Remember since 2020 what we learned? And now we're getting more of these, so we need more dependency. You remember that push, you won't own nothing and be happy in the Agenda 2030? It's alive and well, people. It just has a different name. Scary. Now let's jump into the last story dealing with 15-year auto rates and 50-year mortgages. I want to tell you a few things. I didn't make a lot of money, especially the first part of my life. When me and Misty first got married, I made I'm just telling you outright. It was '06. We got married. I bought a home. I honestly shouldn't have probably bought the home, but the house was $64,000. The house wasn't worth $64,000, but it was in town. It kept my wife safe. I was working a lot at night. I made $24,960. I thought that was the biggest amount of money I've ever seen because I was making $8, $9 an hour. Now, when you look back, that wasn't a lot of money even then. I mean, we were struggling. We ate canned foods. Now, looking back, I sold that house. We didn't just lose our tail in it, but we didn't really make money on it. The next house, we learned to be smarter. We started reading Dave Ramsey, The Total Money Makeover, Financial Peace University. We started realizing the problem wasn't the money I was making. The problem was the money I was spending. So we learned how to make budgets. We learned how to be smart with money. Now I'm investing, 15 to 20% of my income a month in some kind of investment or some kind of barterable goods or something that's going to bring value to my family. I'm not in debt because I'm not driving brand new vehicles. I just bought my wife a little SUV so we could save money on the big SUV that her big bus van that she drives because sometimes she's not taking all kids. I didn't buy a new vehicle. I bought one that was almost 10 years old with high mileage. But I paid cash for it. See, here's the thing. The reason people are in auto delinquency problems is not because the government's not helping them enough. You know why people are needing 30 and 50-year mortgages is because, to be honest with you, they may be buying too much house or be hocking themselves up when they don't need to. If your house mortgage and your auto car notes are costing you the majority of your money, it may be the fact that you are buying too much house or you're investing too much in a stupid car that's going to cost you on insurance, gas, and taxes, along with the car itself and the depreciation. I'm fully debt-free, and I don't own one new vehicle. I haven't bought a new vehicle ever in my life. Literally, ever in my life. And don't start to do it because I can't justify the cost of it. I cannot justify the cost of buying a home at 130 or 140% cost up and then pay the interest on it either. Sometimes we have to realize we have to be smarter than that. You know how I'm building my house, a building house for my son? It's not because I'm rich. It's not because I've done something and I've got legacy money passed down. No, I'm changing my family tree because I realize the problem is not the government needs to give me more money. Yeah, they shouldn't be taking as much as they do. But the problem is I need to be responsible for the money I make, and no matter how much it is, I can spend less. It's kind of like the lifestyle choice we were talking about a while ago. Instead of getting a GLP-1 shot to lose weight, if my maintenance calories is 2,500 a day, then maybe I should eat 2,000 or 2,100, so then therefore I'm actually losing weight naturally. Well, it's the same way with budgeting. I learned how to budget at a young age, so that way I don't buy a car I can't afford. I don't buy a house I can't afford. I don't go buy a boat for $50,000. I don't go buy a mower for $12,000. I don't go buy a four-wheeler for $8,000. I don't go and just spend money on coffee every day at $6 and $7 at Starbucks every day. I don't go to Little Caesars and buy a lunch meal. I don't go to Wendy's and so forth. Now, that's not to pat me on the back. What I'm trying to say is the problem with 15-year auto loans and 50-year mortgages, the government wants you in chains all of your life. That's what they do. You're a slave to the lender always. And if you're a slave to the government, then you are always going to be controlled. How about you just start saying, look, maybe we should be more responsible and not, do the stupid things the government tells us. And sometimes I shouldn't buy the new car at $100,000. Maybe I should buy the beater at $10,000. Now, I know people have been dealt a bad hand. I know that it costs a lot of money. Even me building Aiden's house, wood is up. But I'm being smart and I'm building slowly and patiently. I'm being smart with everything that I'm doing. I'm going to learn how to save because I'm buying things sometimes from the used or the salvage stores instead of buying brand new. See, it's all about education and smartness and wisdom and common sense. Things that your grandmother and great-grandma probably would have told you. Refurbish. Make sure you're utilizing as well. Make sure you're not buying new when you could buy old. Make sure you know what wants and needs are. The problem is not with Trump doing a 50-year or a 15-year auto loan. That's stupid, I agree. But if we're responsible, that wouldn't even entice us to buy it because we know that's bad policy, right? We don't need a house if we can't invest in it. We don't need a car if it's going to cost us too much. All I'm saying is this. Sometimes I think we should take responsibility back on ourselves. To be smart and research, like Dr. Campbell says, that this probably wasn't safe. Now they're wanting to give us more and we're wanting to take them. It's probably not good to eat trash food when we can eat healthy food. It's probably not wise to buy a 15-year auto loan and wonder why we're delinquent when it's not worth anything in 5 years and we still owe $50,000 on it. Sometimes we need to take responsibility and be smart. Sometimes we need to take responsibility and realize if we want to eat, it's time for us to work. Sometimes it's for us to say, you know what? It's not the government's job to take care of us. It's our job to take care of us. Does the government tax us too much? You better believe it. Do we get bad hands sometimes? You better believe it. But if we ground ourselves in common sense and wisdom, of course in faith in Christ, I honestly believe it's going to be okay. But it should not be the fact that we want to blame the government for our problems. A lot of blame to go around, but sometimes it's wise to look inside and say, you know, maybe that was my fault for buying a $100,000 car or $50,000 car that I can't afford. I'm living paycheck to paycheck, but I have to have that Toyota Camry. I'm living paycheck to paycheck, but I need to buy a $100 meal at Roadhouse. You know, I'm living paycheck to paycheck, but I got to have that Starbucks coffee every morning because that's how I start my day. You see what I'm saying? I'm not trying to make you feel guilty. I'm not trying to give the government a pass. I'm just saying maybe the blame should go around to all of us and say, you know what? We're the ones electing these people that's making bad policy. Maybe we should stop electing them. Something to think about. Guys, give me your thoughts on today's video. I really do love you guys. I thank you for being a part of my life each and every day. I love speaking to the camera, so I hope that what I say is beneficial to you in some way. Let me know. Let me know where you're commenting from. Let me know what you think about these videos, because I really do want to make sure that I'm giving good information to you. God bless.